Hello and welcome to Timberborn Update 5. I woke up this morning to a bunch of Discord and Twitter notifications about this update, and boy was it a surprise to see what Mechanicsry has done with it. There's a lot to cover and we do not have time to go over everything in detail, so I encourage you to read the release notes, which I've linked in the description. So let's go ahead and hit the highlights before we dive in and begin a brand new playthrough with the Iron Teeth. Beavers reap what humans sowed. Foreboding message, huh? Well, the biggest news in this update is that now there's a new fluid that permeates our game world called Badwater. It springs from specific new source blocks placed around maps and is essentially toxic waste left over from human times. It contaminates terrain and causes plants and trees to die, and also gives beavers negative status effects. It'll blend with normal water whenever the two meet, and as Badwater concentration goes up, the negative effects become stronger until irrigation stops completely and beavers become too sick to work or reproduce. The good news, though, is that since it uses the same physics as normal water, there are ways to deal with it. We'll get into this in more detail in our playthrough, but we'll be able to build special pumps that can collect bad water, and there are new treatment facilities for both bad water itself and beavers who become afflicted with its sickness. We can build centrifuges to convert bad water into a new product called Extract, which has many uses in the mid and late game judging by these new buildings, including advanced breeding pods for the Iron Teeth, which spit out adult beavers fully formed with no need to rear them as children, which is a little bit terrifying, but also completely on brand for the Iron Teeth faction. So we'll look forward to getting into that, as well as decontamination pods that will help beavers recover from exposure to bad water. Water dumps now are also called fluid dumps and can be assigned to dump either good or bad water, and stream gauges will also tell us how contaminated the water is that flows through them. On top of all this, there's now a chance for droughts to turn into bad tide cycles, where all source blocks dispense bad water for the duration of the season. So definitely lots of new challenges with all of this, and I'm very excited to get to them during this playthrough. A few more things to note before we begin. There are new faction-specific buildings for recreation, plenty of those, and well-being as well. And medicine, healers, and dandelions are no longer part of the game. They've been completely removed. Beavers will still get injured and require healing, but now that will just happen in due time without having a separate mechanic to deal with it. Most interesting, though, I think, is that terraforming now no longer requires bots at all. That's right, normal bio-beavers can work in the terraforming station and dirt excavator, and to help balance this, dynamite is now produced from 5 units of bad water, and we have double and triple dynamite to play with, as well as the help of additional extract. That's a lot. And again, I regret that I can't spend 20 minutes talking about all this in detail. Well, I'd love to, but then nobody would watch these videos. So all that being said, let's go ahead, jump right in, start a brand new playthrough with the Iron Teeth to take full advantage of all of the new fun stuff. So, like I said, we're going to start a brand new game with the Iron Teeth, favorite faction. And we have all these new maps to work with now. Well, they're not new maps, they're the same maps. But now you can see they've all got different pictures and stuff associated with them. Well, the stock maps that come with the game. These 3 maps are beginner friendly. We're not going to mess with those, don't worry. But now you can see there's a lot of bad water in some of these, quite a bit. Some of them haven't been updated. Helix Mountain, Thousand Islands, and I think there's one more. Mountain Range, yeah. Have not been fully updated, but we're not playing any of those right now anyway. So that's fine. And then, of course, the previous maps that I had saved in here don't have a preview because, well, they didn't exist. So that's fine. I think what we're going to want to do is go back to terraces. That was the first map I played on Iron Teeth, I think. It was a lot of seasons ago, a lot of seasons of Timberborn ago. So you can see there's a lot of bad water in here. And as far as I know, I think we'll take a look when we load the map up, but I think these are still good water. And this is good water, but there's tons of bad water. So let's go ahead and get that rocking and rolling. Normal difficulty, I am not going to try hard in this very first time with the bad water involved, but I did want to show you what the custom settings now look like. And you can see there's separate sections for bad tides, which again just replaces the droughts on a random chance. This is all the default settings for normal. So this is what we're working with. 40% chance for a bad tide during a drought. They can last 5 to 9 days. You have a handicap of 38% for the first 6 cycles. And then everything else pretty much stays the same. You start with 4 adults, start with 4 children. And, you know, same temperate duration, 13 to 17 days, and then 5 to 9 days for the drought. Or bad tides, because it's both set the same. So go back to normal, hit start, and we'll see you on the other side of the loading screen. All right, you already know what we're going to name this. It is the 13th season, so guess what? It's Beaverburg 13, kind of a fitting number for all of this new bad stuff the game introduced. But we'll go ahead and get these guys spat out here, and pause real quick, take a look at the map because it is brand new. If you watched that first series that I did on this map a very, very long time ago, you'll remember we had this entire upper island was a lot of farming and industry, and we had this big stack of barracks over here, and we built an enormous set of dams right here. Now, we probably aren't going to want to do that in this new update because as soon as we get a bad tide, this will all be completely contaminated. So that's a lot of interesting stuff to take a look at. But I'm going to go ahead and put on the transparent view here for the water. You can see we still have our 2 water sources here. Those were always there. And I believe these were always here too, these 5 water sources. But now we have, in the bottom of these pits, zoom way in here, it's like kind of like a magma type looking thing. That's our bad water source. And we've got over here, we have 4 of these things in these low-lying spots. And then on the other side of the map, yeah, right here we have another 3 up top, buried next to these underground ruins and these above-ground ruins and everything. And you can see that they all just kind of, they just kind of spill into each other. If I put the transparency back off, you'll be able to tell. So all of this is clean water, and then it kind of mixes right here. So you can see the effects on the ground as this kind of spider webs and snakes its way into the groundwater. And these trees here are already dead as a result of that. So you can easily see how this starts to affect an area. And, oh, did I miss these? Okay. So there's 3 more regular water sources here. That's good to know. So I think what a lot of our strategy for water movement around this map is going to turn into is containing the bad water and diverting it to go off the edge of the map right here where all of the water exits. But obviously we are going to want to keep some of it around to make extract and all that fun new stuff. But for the time being, where's our... There we go. We got turned all the way around on this entire side of the map. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Lots and lots of good stuff to get to. Of course, it's not all going to be in this first episode because, well, you know how game progression works. But since we're already here, I will go ahead and show you what this new stuff looks like. Paths and structures, this is all the same. Landscaping is all the same with the exception of the addition of the double and triple dynamite. And again, the recipe for the dynamite now is 5 bad water. And then if you can use extract to make the double and the triple dynamite once we have those things put in place. Storage is all the same. District management, all the same. Housing, all the same with the exception of the advanced breeding pod, which I told you in the beginning little patch notes review that this spits out adult beavers, but it comes at a heavy cost. You have to have 1,000 signs to unlock it, and you have to use treated planks and the metal, so we're definitely not getting to this for a long time. Everything else is the same, though. Water, we now have specific good and bad water pumps, fluid dumps, all this, and now we have a centrifuge, which is what takes bad water and converts it to extract in that little science symbol. That's kind of cool. Food-wise, everything's the same from Iron Teeth that we know. Wood-wise, everything's the same. Metal, everything's the same. Power, everything's the same. You get the gist. Science, everything's the same. But well-being, we have a bunch of new stuff. Medical beds are still here, but now the healer is no longer a thing. We have the decontamination pod, which we already talked about. Scratcher for fun, it looks like a back scratcher rotating kind of cat post. I don't really know. We'll figure it out. The Lido is replaced with a swimming pool, which is, I guess, more industrialized version of a Lido, whatever. It's got lanes. I think you might have seen it in the earlier part of the video. Exercise plaza, you guys saw that. Wind tunnel, that was the thing in the back with the beavers hovering above it. And of course, mud baths still exist. Decoration-wise, lanterns are now a thing for lighting at night. Did not mention that in the opening read because I really have to keep that less than, 5 or 6 minutes, or else people are like, I don't want to watch the video anymore. But we're good. We got lanterns we'll play with. Very excited to see that because I know we've been having a lot of fun with the lanterns in the Tory Gates mod in our Folk Tales playthrough. But now, yeah, same kind of stuff. We got a brazier right here, just like a fire in a box. That's pretty much it. Beaver bust is just a new statue. And clocks. Clocks are cool. Monuments are the same. So, all that being said, let's go ahead and get ourselves set up for success here. We'll draw ourselves a path over this way to the little upper terrace. And then one of the first things we're going to need to do is harvest our trees, as we always do. I'll just go ahead and put in a lumberjack right here, take care of that. And then over here on this side, I want to make sure we get all of these berries in place. I'll just go one more over this way. Draw our path out. And that way we'll be able to have berries here, wood here, and everything we need. Go ahead and I think probably first things first, we're going to need to have a water pump. Although I don't want to be pumping out of here. I think we're going to want to have this eventually pumping out of this area. But the way this is currently set up, that's not really going to work. We can go ahead and put this guy right here, which is going to put his entrance right on the edge. And that is fine. We'll just have this come right this way. They'll come all the way down here to suck the water out of the bottom of this waterfall. And then one of the first things we'll do is put in dam pieces here so we can retain water to keep our ground irrigated. So we'll go ahead and get those set up, get those guys rolling, and mark some of these trees for cutting. I do like the idea of having this kind of checkerboard pattern at the start, which I will go ahead and start doing here. Obviously, long term, this isn't really something that makes sense, but it helps the trees continue to be growing and reproducing with each other and not have to worry about just clear cutting an entire part of the forest. So just taking a few seconds here to get that rocking and rolling. That was the wrong spot, but you get what I'm saying. As these trees age, they will spawn additional trees next to them since they're not being planted. And if you only cut in checkerboard pattern offset, then you're not going to be cutting every single tree down, but you can still get mature trees and take advantage of harvesting the resin as well when we get to that point. But don't worry, we'll be taking care of most of the rest of that. And I do think we'll end up clear cutting all of this eventually. But for right now, that's about the size of it. We're also going to put a farmhouse in. And since these guys work in like kind of a radial pattern, I'm going to have this set up probably right about here is probably fine. And then we'll have the path come all the way down, connect directly to the district center entrance right there. And we're going to start out, as we always do with the Iron Teeth, with kohlrabies. Cassava can come later, but right now kohlrabi is going to be the easiest thing for us to plant and harvest. And that is what we will do. So I'll just have this come right here and kind of start blocking this area off just a little bit. These guys will just go out and around. And then on the other side here, I'm going to start planting cassava because I know if we get this done really, really fast, we can have a full harvest before the next, well, I guess the first drought comes in. So we'll have this nice big spot like that. And of course, cassava cannot be really dealt with until we have a fermenter, which will come later in a couple days. And the very first thing we'll do is probably put in a compact water wheel, which you'll notice the power output has been buffed. These did not used to be 60, and the large water wheels did not used to be 270. So I think they actually just increased all of the stats on these by 50%. I think these used to be 40 and 180. Could be wrong. I'm sure someone who knows can correct me if I am. But that's very exciting because I always thought these were a little underpowered, the compact ones. The large ones are going to be very, very useful, especially because bad water is not going to affect them. You can just use bad water as a power source. If you you harness something like this, you don't even have to worry about it. So that's going to be cool. We have this space right here. They are in the middle of building our deep water pump, and that, of course, we don't have any water yet, but that's going to be very important. We'll have some storage. I guess I could just go ahead and put one right here to have our water taken care of. And yep, looking good. We'll go ahead and hit that turbo button. It's about to be nighttime anyway, so these guys are going to want to go to sleep. Get a good night's rest and start again tomorrow. Yeah, they're just about done with this. And then the farmhouse will be next. We don't quite have enough logs right yet, so while they're sleeping, let's take a second to do a little bit more checkerboarding here. And make sure this is all good to go. I guess I can go ahead and do up here as well. Just give them a little bit more space. Take advantage of all of this. All right, that should take care of stuff, at least for the next little while. So we got water pumping. farmhouse, as long as this can get built. I don't think it's going to happen today in game, unfortunately, because, well, we still need 10 logs. And it's almost quitting time. I'm not heartless enough to make these guys work 24 hours quite yet. They've got a lot of stuff they got to take care of first. And now they're thirsty, so we'll let them take care of that. Next thing we're going to want to build definitely is going to be these 2 dam pieces that I will put right here. Ah, they're not going to let me do this? Or am I going to have to, yeah, I'm going to have to come out this way, because this building is now in the way, I think. Oh, man, I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm going to have to go across the wide area here. I guess there's not really any harm in me putting the dam pieces there. Really shouldn't matter at all. I know they can get to that, and then we'll be able to put something else over here. But now we are planting kohlrabies. We're planting cassava in our little radial patterns here. Love to see that happen. And these will be ready for harvest, hopefully for too long. And of course, the next thing they got to build is going to be this small tank so we can store water. Right now, it's not really that big of a problem because we only have 12 beavers, and they're all homeless. So that will be another thing we're taking care of. But I really want to make sure that we have our food and our water situation well under control before I worry about anything else. Because especially for the iron teeth, it is very, very hard to recover if you don't have that. If you don't have that in place, then you're pretty much screwed. So, normal breeding pods, we're going to build right now just the one, and hope that that is enough as my email client decides to make annoying noises for me. But that's fine. We can shut that up pretty quickly. All right, it shouldn't bother us again. All right, so this guy now needs 5 more logs. Since we still have some unemployed beavers, I'm going to go ahead and put in a second lumberjack flag right next to the first one. We can have another guy helping out. And we can also checkerboard up here just to try and get this going a little bit more. Lots and lots and lots of wood for the taking. We just have to kind of keep our eye on stuff as we continue moving around. And everything should be a-okay. So I would like to see if we can get a pretty decent amount of progress done today. Obviously, we're not going to get super far. Probably not even going to get to the first bad tide at all. But it's just so interesting to see all these new things, new dynamics in the game. Very, very, very exciting. And I think we're going to have a whole lot of fun working with all that stuff. But you can see we're already a third of the way through the starting berries, even with harvesting these guys. So it's very good that we have our kohlrabies about to become useful here. And I probably should have just had this spot right here reserved for power production. So I'll tell you what I'll do is I'm going to have this area right here unplanted. So as soon as these things grow, they'll be removed. And we can go ahead and put a compact water wheel right here. It's going to generate plenty of power just by itself to use with a single fermenter, which we can put, well, I can't build it yet, but we'll put right here once these are harvested. Shouldn't be too much longer, and we'll see how that goes. Well, let's check out our status right here. Yep, they got that negative buff from not having shelter, but everything else is looking about as good as it can right now. You'll notice this new fun section has all of the new buildings we were talking about, and then aesthetics as well. Food remains the same as it always has been. So, going to be very, very interesting to see where that goes. All right, so we're putting water in here. They're drinking the water. We're growing plants. We should be just about ready to harvest some. Yeah, and just a little bit later today, we'll have our first kohlrabies come in, and then the beavers can eat those. That's all very exciting stuff. And once this is in place, we'll be good to do fermenting and all of that other stuff. I think actually I'm going to unplant these as well, just so we can have a little bit of room to come back over here and put in some other fun stuff, like the industrial lumber mills Got to get those planks. And we also probably want to go ahead and start having some inventing occurring, which I will start doing up here. We'll just put this one guy there. Start getting some science so we can eventually replant trees. But the good news is cutting in this checkerboard pattern is not going to require us to plant nearly as soon as we otherwise would, because the fully grown trees can and do reproduce by just spawning these seedlings everywhere in the spaces that we're not cutting. So that's always exciting to see. And here we go, gathering all the rest of this stuff as this grows, and it will not be replanted. So since that is coming down here, we'll just keep extending our pathway all the way down as they grab this. 80 horsepower. Hewlett-Packard's Harry Potter, Honda Prelude. What other stuff have you guys put in the suggestion box for what HP actually stands for? Human power? Whatever. I don't think the beavers are going to have any concept of horses. If humans have died out, horses are probably also gone. I don't know. That's the fun thing with these post-apocalyptic game settings is you can basically rewrite all the rules and nobody can tell you you're wrong because, well, have humans ever been through an apocalyptic scenario before of this kind of magnitude? I don't know. Probably not. At least not where none of them survived. There's numerous accounts in history and various religious texts where humanity has almost all died out, but there's always been somebody left. So we'll see. I think I'm going to go ahead and have them prioritize the harvesting of our kohlrabies here just so we can get all the way down here. Yeah, they can leave the cassava alone because we can't really do anything with them right now anyway. That's all fine. Looks like our water tank is full. So I'm going to go ahead. I can't plant any plant. Sheesh. I can't build another pump right here. So we definitely want to have some other ones in place before the drought comes, because when that comes, we aren't going to be able to pump any of that water, and we want to make sure we can store as much as we can. So that's going to go in here. We'll replace those with the larger pumps, or larger tanks, as we always do. There we go. And we do have some kohlrabies. We have some berries, and they are growing back slowly. And we even have a little beaver on the way in our breeding pod. And just because I know some of you really hate this, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this guy. Yeah, look, Mr. Wrinkly over here. That is the object of horror right there. So we'll leave that alone and not speak of it again. And come back over here to get all of our kohlrabies harvested. We are very, very close friends. I'll just get those two, and then I'll prioritize back to planting. So that's good. This will eventually get got. Wow, yeah, that's great English there. But that'll get removed. And all of our cassava is... I noticed this now has this status bar here. I think that has something to do... Probably something to do with the Badwater, Bad Tides, whenever that comes around. But we have at least another 4 or 5 days here in cycle 1 to get the rest of this going. We just have to have enough beavers to take care of the rest of that stuff. So we don't really have... Oh, good. This is actually holding back water. I think we should be... Yep, sure looks like it. And we don't have platforms yet, so I am going to go ahead and put a third dam piece here so we can go across. And then I think... Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do this, but I can put this other one right here. And that'll be just fine for right now. Leave that there. And we'll have our second pump to fill all of these up. That's looking good. No additional storage probably needed right now. But I want to make sure they plant all those kohlrabies, and then I'm going to have them start harvesting these cassavas. These are probably going to be the among the last ones to get done. So let's prioritize cassava harvesting, and let's make ourselves some warehouses up here to start dealing with food storage. Now, this is not arable land, so it's fine to build these here. Let's make a storage for... Where's the berries? There we are. So much easier to see stuff when it's not 800 different things like we've got in the what's it called? The water beavers. Yeah, so now the drought thing has now changed. It's not red, it's yellow. So I guess that's to warn you whether it's going to be a normal drought or a bad tide, which thankfully the first one is not going to be a bad tide. It probably won't be until after the first 3 cycles, if I'm remembering correctly. So no chance of seeing one today. Next episode, though, all bets are off. We will see what happens. And I'm going to plant kohlrabi there since that's a space that exists. Is this... Yeah, I'll go ahead and mark that one for cutting, and then we'll just plant that all the way behind, just like so. And this should be just about... Yeah, we got to get some more cutting done, and I think they've... yeah, they've already gotten most of these that we've put here. And we do have enough science to go ahead and unlock the forester, which, of course, we can't build until, you know, we have... until we have any planks. So, what I think we're going to want to do, this is probably actually fine to put right here. I'll just stick that guy right there, connect him up, and we'll plant trees up top here. So, to make the planks, we're going to need to have our industrial lumber mill, and then our favorite, the power wheel. Not the shaming wheel, because I am not RCE, but that is going to end up being just fine. We'll leave this here. And put right next to it the industrial lumber mill, since that's not land that can have anything grown on it. And that will ensure we can always make planks at least at, I don't know, 80, 70-something% efficiency, because this takes 75 horsepower, Harry Potter, Honda Preludes, Hewlett-Packards, whatever's, and this produces 50. So that is looking fine. We're still waiting on logs for this dam. So, in the spirit of that, since we already have these other trees, I'm going to go ahead and just start clear cutting this top one, because this is going to be where we're farming most of the stuff. These bottom ones I think we'll leave for right now. We already do have some of this starting to regrow in the cutting areas. So that is good to see. Unfortunately, we're not going to have any cassava that we can actually do anything with until the next cycle, because this has still not been removed yet. And I know I could just delete it, but no, let's not. let's not mess with that. I don't want to attempt anything. So this deep water pump probably right now isn't super necessary, but we have it anyway. So we'll make sure that we have a decent amount of water get pumped. I am going to extend working hours. Egads, you can't do that. It's 24-hour work. It's the Iron Teeth. It's a crisis. It's fine. We are going to restore it in the morning. I just want to make sure that the pumping continues until morale improves. So that's all looking a-okay. And they're thirsty. I told you we needed water. So we just got to make sure that's happening. And the drought has started. And they can no longer pump, so back to 16-hour work days we go. And I will pause these because they can't do anything. I do miss the automation mod, but now we have all this water saved. We're not pumping out of it, and that is all well and good. Very, very good stuff. And we have storage for berries. We have storage for kohlrabis, except we don't really have any because the beavers have just been eating it. So I'm going to set this back to planting. And I think it would, oh, they already started planting that. It would behoove us to have multiple farmhouses. So I'm going to go ahead, unplant this, demolish that. We'll just put 2 farmhouses right next to each other. Is that the most space-efficient way of doing it? No, probably not, but it's good to have more beavers working in this, and of course, this is not going to be the only spot on the map that we actually, grow anything. So, for right now, early game, completely fine. Beavers are exhausted. That's okay because I kept them up all night the night before. But it's a short drought. We'll be back in business before you know it, and we'll be able to get stuff going quite nicely. The good thing about playing on the 3x speed early on is that it really, really flies by because these first few are quite short. So we'll see what happens. I think we can easily get through the first 2 full cycles today. We'll see what happens with all of that, like I said previously. But we have plenty of berries. Kohlrabis are becoming slowly a thing. Let's prioritize the farmhouse build here. So we have 3 unemployed beavers, and it sure would be nice to have 2 of them working with our food harvesting to take care of the rest of that stuff. Now, one more thing that we can eventually do once we unlock stairs, which we can't currently, but soon. We can have beavers come down here and build another 2 of these compact water wheels so we can have plenty of power. We can kind of snake these buildings around for the fermenters and everything because that's how they're set up to be able to do. So that is A-okay. So during the drought, I believe these bad tide things, I don't think these ever actually turn off. I think these are going all the time. Why do we have to clean up the human's mess? Oh, right, they're all dead. Yep, sounds about right. So I think these just kind of continuously go, which if that's actually true, that's incredible because then we can just always have, yeah, we can always have this as a power source without even having to worry about droughts affecting the water wheels at all. That is exciting. I like that. Very, very cool. All right, 2 more logs. Are we already out of wood? Well, that's an interesting problem to have. I can't really cut any of this stuff, can I? Well, I need to make sure that I'm getting this brought back in. I'm going to clear cut all of this so we have a little bit more space to plant some kohlrabis behind the farmhouses here. So that's all looking good. And just like that, cycle 2. We survived. Was that ever in doubt? I don't think so. Not lately, at least. We seem to have been doing a pretty good job. And I see a beaver with a broken tooth, so let's go ahead and I guess I could just put one right here. Put in a tooth grindstone so they can go about their business. We are just about out of water, so let's unpause our deep water pumps. And, yeah, make sure these are always priority jobs, because we'll pause them when we don't have any ability to have beavers doing them. All right, so looking okay. We have some water now coming back. Having the 2 going all at the same time is going to drastically improve our production, as expected. Still don't have a ton of kohlrabis, so that is why I was trying to get more of this planted back here. And this will eventually, the further we go up here, going to be mostly planting farm stuff, and the trees will be up top. And before too long, we'll be able to harvest these guys. Well, I guess cut down, not really harvest so much. That's good. I'm going to have this guy priority harvest cassava, and this guy can priority plant kohlrabi. So they'll take care of these guys, and then we can finally put in a fermenter to use the kohlrabis once that's all taken care of. And of course, now all of this is ready to go. And we do have storage for kohlrabi, but we also have cassava storage. Should be enough. But we're gonna need to have, yep, we're gonna need to have storage for raw kohlrabi, cassava. I gotta remember what these things are called. I've been playing folktales for so long. So these guys, hopefully tomorrow we'll get to these. I don't want to get rid of them. Should I probably just get rid of them? Yeah, but you know, we're not in a crisis, so we can deal with it for a little bit. All right, so we have our power wheel. Industrial lumber mill is next. Once we have logs for that, they are still cutting all of these things. So we do have to, unfortunately, wait for a little while, but that's fine. Got plenty to do. All right, now they should be harvesting. Yep, should be harvesting a couple more of these things. I think these are closer than, well, most of these over here. Okay, those are all planted kohlrabi, so let's harvest cassava. Let's just have all hands on deck harvesting these things. Also, if you haven't noticed, these are the default beaver names. No mods for Update 5 because it literally released 12 hours ago. So, apologies to beard boosters, you are not in this video. But you will be as soon as mod support is a thing. I just don't know how long that's going to take. So right now we're rocking with the original original beaver names. All right, we got 81 water here. Good start. We just really need to get our wood situation going a little bit better, which is why I am hoping to get the forester going sooner rather than later, but there is also some other stuff we've got to take care of. All right, come get these two things. We have tons of cassava. Probably at this point, actually tons. We have almost full storage. Just come collect these two, or even just this one. Just come get it. Just come get it. Just come get it. Come on. Somebody come grab this thing. I know it's closer. I know it has to be closer. Oh, no, you're going to play hardball with me, huh? Dude, just delete it. No. No. We don't delete food. Not yet. All right, well. All right, now we have the industrial lumber mill, which we need to be able to do our forester and plant trees. So now I've got 2 beavers working in the district center. We don't really need 2 of them. We also don't need 2 lumberjacks if we don't have trees to cut down. So I'm going to lower priority there and lower priority on the inventor to be minimum. Now we've got 1 in the lumber mill, 1 in the power wheel. He unfortunately does not have any logs to cut down, but we'll get there. All right, this is finally done. So let's put in our fermenter right here. Not going to be built for a little bit because, you know, it does require some logs that we don't have yet. But we will get there. It's just going to take a little bit of time. And the teeth grindstone probably is important. That was next in line anyway. So that's fine. I'm going to lower the priority on the medium warehouse construction for the cassava because that's 15 logs we could easily use for something else. And once this fermenter is built, then they're going to go straight here anyway. So the 2 right there, that's fine. The rate these are going to be regrowing, I don't think we need to be stressed out about cutting these trees down. So I will grab those for the next little bit. I need to make sure that's marked for cutting. And we'll just keep planting more kohlrabi. So let's reset these. And there we go. Now we have our tooth grindstone. We should have some planks coming out soon. As soon as we have enough planks to make this forester, I am going to shut this down so we can have these 2 beaver jobs back. But that is probably going to take a little bit more time. And you know what? We're going to 18-hour days because now we actually have some stuff to get done. Maybe that'll let them get 1 or 2 more things put in place. Not the biggest deal in the world. Good. We're up to about half of our materials for the fermenter. That's looking nice. Halfway through cycle 2 temperate season, more or less. Stuff is looking good. All right, out of power because nobody's running, but now they are running. 4, we should be up to 5 planks here in just a second. And this is an adult tree that can be cut down, so I think they're going to, yeah, they should be doing that pretty quick. Now we're up to 6, and now that has made our 7th plank, so I'm going to pause both of those. That's ready to go, and now Javinda over here can start planting our, oh, I forgot about coffee. Birch trees, pine trees, mangrove, oak. I'm going to go ahead and just have this be pines because I feel like that's a little easier. Just to have it all be the same kind of tree. And it's all stuff that we could easily use for all sorts of fun purposes. And they can all reach this. I think I can get away with putting these 3 trees at least. Looks like I got 1 more. Can this reach? Yes. Okay. All right, so that's going to be what we end up planting for pines. That's going to be quite nice once that's all done, which means we can slowly reclaim more and more of this for our farming purposes. And, oh, I didn't select a recipe, so let's do cassava there. These are both paused. That's a minimum. That's a lower down thing. Oh, nice. We have 150 water. So, that's full. I'm going to reduce both of these right now to 1, just so we have somebody working here making fermented cassava for our beavers. But we need to probably go ahead and put in a second breeding pod. Actually prioritize construction on that. Not that there's anything else currently being built, but just want to make sure that this gets going soon because this one's about 2/3 done. All right, so love to see that. This I'm going to turn into fermented cassava storage now that this is up and running. All right, and another thing that we can do is as soon as this one gets removed, we can put in a second fermenter. I don't think we really need it. Hey, look, we're up to 3 well-being. Love to see that. That's looking good, looking good. We should have, yeah, trees getting planted. We don't currently need any planks, but we are going to want to have, our stairs down at some point. And we haven't unlocked our... oh, there is no aquatic farmhouse in this faction. That's right, because we have hydroponic gardens. So never mind. I was going to say we could have stuff go down there, but it's not to be. So I think one of the next things we're going to want to do is start damming up down here. I don't think we can get down enough with the time that we have, especially considering we have to do... yeah, we got to develop stairs, and we're still super far away from platforms. And there's not really any good place right here to have a descent, at least all at once. So that is unfortunately going to have to wait until we have platforms unlocked. But we've got tons of stuff to get to. Water storage is currently full. For the amount of beavers we have right now, 150 is way more than we need to last through a drought. Or a bad tide, as it were. We're going to have to really be careful before we have the filtering equipment put in, because if these start pumping the bad water, it could poison our drinking supply. Unless it doesn't pump the bad water, I actually don't know. It probably says somewhere, and I might have just skimmed over it in my zeal to get these videos out as fast as I could and check out all this new stuff. But definitely don't want beavers going down into the bad water or drinking it, because that will cause ailments, and we don't have the infrastructure to keep up with that yet. But yeah, we definitely need the young beavers, and we have 2 of these operating now at our current well-being state. That probably isn't enough, but once we have everybody housed, it's probably going to be just fine for early game. Now we've got 3x3 space here. I'm going to leave that kind of open for future stuff. Maybe a nice big tank would fit there, or one of those other larger buildings. But I think we have enough. Oh yeah, we got plenty of berries. I guess we can go ahead and maybe just put in a couple more here. I'm going to stagger these though, because these are already kind of going. I will pause this just so that's already built. When this one gets to about halfway, I'll turn this guy back on, and we'll see what happens with that. But we do have the stairs. We don't need them yet, but we can keep that in our back pocket. I need to get enough beavers so I can have somebody back in the inventor, but I really want to make sure our tree stuff is going a little bit better there. So let's see. If I just have this be a normal job, then I think, yeah, our lumberjack is going to go work in the inventor. All right, another drought incoming here, cycle 2. And I think for the sake of sanity, we'll end this first episode at the end of that drought. So we got a little bit of time left, a little bit more we can take care of, make sure that we're in a decent position. Again, we have plenty of water for right now. I'm going to unpause this one now, because this one's at half, a little over half, and this one's at, I don't know, about 33%. I would like for them to be a little bit more evenly spaced out, but there's only so much you can do. Waiting for nutrients, huh? Well, we have plenty, so I don't see what the holdup is there. Fermented cassava is looking good. Kohlrabi storage, well, isn't really ever going to be full, I don't think, because of how many the farmhouses can hold and how many we are or are not planting. But we can go ahead and very slowly take our Take our land for farming over here. If they ever get this cassava harvested, then we can start putting in some additional things here. So we have the option to either kind of stack them like this, or we can have this one turn 90 degrees and block off our access. I don't think it's going to be that serious. I think we're probably fine doing something like this, but I do want to make sure that we have additional water wheels in place. That's just not something that is a super huge priority at the moment. But considering that we have the technology, we might as well go ahead and just put these stairs in place. We can always recover them. I'm not going to be that worried about it. Actually, let's move these over one more slot, just so we don't have to delete them again later. But they can grab that one log. That's the only thing that was taken care of there. And I think, yeah, we're going to have to turn our industrial lumber mill back on. So we'll unpause these, and for the time being, I will pause both of these so we have somebody from the lumber mill and the power wheel right here. Got 1 day left. Just give me a couple of planks so we can have those taken care of and build our stairs, and then we'll get some beavers here working on the wheels. But again, it's about to be a drought, so I don't think it's going to be that big of a problem. All right, do we have almost all of our planks? All right, get this thing done. Let's go, folks. Looks like that should be it. Last plank going in place, and now they can build those. Cool. So I'm going to pause these once again, unpause those two. We almost have enough for platforms. And once the drought hits, we can pause our pumps, and those people will be able to go do other stuff. I say people, I mean beavers. You know how this works. All right, here's our drought. How long of a drought is it? 4 days. All right. We can deal with that. So now we've got pretty much dead even. This can also get paused because, well, they can't do anything during a drought. And, yep, now these are reasonably spaced out, I think. We should be able to start having more and more beavers. And once we have enough wood coming in, we can build barracks, although that might be a next episode thing. And we have enough to go ahead and research our first platform. So let's take it into single time speed. We don't have to be breaking our necks anymore. But what I'm going to do is take this route right here, minimal use of platforms, and just have this come all the way down. We can harvest these birch trees as well. So I will put in a lumberjack flag. I don't think it's going to care what side of this I'm on. No. All right, that works. We'll go across here and then work our way around to put dams in here. So let me actually place those in advance. And we can and should probably also have a staircase over here. This was just going to be the first and easiest, cheapest way to get down there. So that is why I did that. Once that's done, of course, we'll have another one coming down over here. I just wanted to make sure all of these were in place first. So, of course, what that means is we have to unpause our lumber mill and our power wheel and get these guys going. I'll make this to a lower priority job because we already unlocked most of the stuff we currently need to have unlocked. Looks like we're in a pretty good spot, all things considered. Gonna need a lot of planks, though, and that's going to be a little bit of a problem. But since we're growing trees up here, and we have these birches down here, I'm no longer worried about preserving most of these pines, so they can go away. And we can start planting more and more crops over here, which I think... I don't know if they can plant here, but I figured I'd give it a shot anyway. We will see what we're able to accomplish. If not, that's fine, because I can just put a path here, and no one will ever be the wiser. This poor cassava. He cries out to be harvested. So I'll tell you what, let's let's just have a cassava harvesting festival here. get those guys going, speed back through the rest of the night because there's really not too much we can do while the beavers are sleeping currently. I cannot wait to take advantage of constantly flowing bad water to make power. Just always. That really, really is a game changer for the Iron Teeth to be able to use the large water wheel. So, very, very exciting stuff. All right. Somebody harvest the cassava, please. I'll ask nicely. Well, I guess these guys are currently focused on building water wheels. These probably should be lower priority right now, since we are attempting to build our platforms and our stairs here. So they'll take care of that. Population should be slowly increasing the more we harvest these trees, and the more we can focus on supplying stuff. So it looks like, yep, good progress so far. What else can I get rid of here? More importantly, okay, good. We got another 4 days. 3-4 days before the pines start becoming harvestable. So that's good to see. That is going to be next video, though, when we start harvesting these, because that will be a couple days into cycle 3. But I'm really hoping we can get these stairs done. We will see what happens. I don't have enough planks currently, but I think we stand a decent chance of making it work. Especially now that we don't have these compact water wheels taken. But you better not. Nope, we're pausing that. Goodbye. You were building stairs. All of you were building stairs. That is the only thing you were currently doing. All right, folks. We just have the one left. One left when we come down here, start harvesting these birches. And yeah, we're going to be looking good. Do I want to have platforms go straight across here? I don't think there's any real reason not to. Honestly, if we have the resources, I'll need 12 planks to do it. Might as well, so then we can have this in place before the next drought. So let's just do it and ask questions later. Not always a good strategy for life, but it will give you a lot of interesting, fun experiences. Cannot always endorse it, though. One more log will get us there, and then we can come down here. Very good. Very good. Looking nice. And we can go ahead and plant some more kohlrabis here. Eventually, when they get there. Probably will want to have some additional farmhouses too, although currently our food situation, is looking really, really nice. Now, somebody... let me just keep this paused for a second. Yeah, they don't have logs either. I'm going to pause these two. Hire more in the district center. Get this guy back. Yeah, we got to get some trees cut. In fact, I'm just going to clear cut these guys too. Get some trees cut. Stop making planks and get this last staircase put in place. 24-hour workdays back, folks. But not forever. We'll reset it. I just want to make sure this gets done before it's too late. Yeah, somebody come finish this thing. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. Now we can come down here, build our lumberjack flag, and start harvesting all of these birch trees. Love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. And now we can go back to our 18-hour workdays. And we've already arrived at the end of today's episode. So here's just a quick recap of what we've done. We've got farming put in place. We've got water pumping put in place. The very beginning of fermentation put in place. And we've got stuff we can easily bring online with these compact water wheels and a second fermenter, although we don't currently need it. That will be one of the next things we do here in cycle 3. But that will be the next episode, which will be tomorrow morning. I know this is an unprecedented evening release for me here, but I just absolutely could not resist. Well, evening, my time zone. I don't know, your mileage may vary. But I just absolutely could not resist putting this one out as soon as I possibly could, because it is so exciting to have some interesting new features. And I want to see exactly what these bad tides are about. So you'll have to forgive me that episode 2 is going to come out before any of you have a chance to really get too into commenting on what happens in this one. But we will have episode 2 tomorrow. That is Saturday. And then episode 3 on Sunday. 3 in a row for our new Timberborn series. Want to get started off with a bang. And then we'll work it into our regular rotation moving into next week. So other housekeeping things. The other series are not going away. Thankfully, I'm still able to run those on update 4. I just have to switch game versions between experimental and stable. So don't worry. The Folktales modded playthrough is still continuing. Water Beavers still continuing. And the live stream one that we're doing with the Iron Teeth over on the diorama map is still continuing. And that will be happening tomorrow. Early afternoon for a live stream as well. So make sure you join us for that. Should be a really good time. And then Sunday, Satisfactory live stream as well. We are well into the thick of it here, folks, and I'm very thankful that you've been here to share in the excitement of this new series, new update. So if this is the first video you've seen, well, thanks for sitting through almost an hour of it. And thanks for giving me a shot. I really appreciate it. I do unedited Let's Plays of mostly Timberborn currently, but also some other fun city building games like Ostrov, which is a 18th century Ukrainian city builder. And we're also working on Satisfactory in the live streams, like I said before, and a couple other fun things I've got in the pipeline. But we are now pretty much full-timing YouTube now, which is very, very, very exciting. So I very much appreciate your support, and especially those of the beard boosters. You can see the names on the screen. Making it possible for me to keep doing this, and I'm very, very thankful to each and every one of you and to them. So I hope you'll stick around. We got lots more fun stuff to come, and I'm very, very excited to be back at it again in some brand new unfamiliar territory. But yeah, that is it. Have a fantastic rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow for episode 2. And until then, stay safe, have fun. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.